Exit Forum is an initiative driven by the XPGTM batch of XLRI. The forum allows students to interact with industry stalwarts who share valuable insights on their roles and responsibilities, their knowledge about the industry, and the diverse corporate challenges they faced. The forum gives students a wholesome experience by providing the taste of the corporate world along with the incredible exposure and learning experience they get in the classrooms.
Entertaining as well as insightful for us. So I am Swagato. I live in Kolkata right now. I started this MBA journey this year itself. Previously, I was working in Voltas in a marketing and sales role, B2B sales and marketing, and service and other things. So there I was primarily in the mining industry, selling products for mining companies and other heavy engineering machinery, steel plants and such and such. So it was a fun ride, but I had to pursue other stuff in life, which is why I started MBA. So that's me. I'll let Deeksha take over.
Hi ma'am, good evening. So I'm Deeksha Shetty. I have around 7 years of experience. So I was working for Siemens Limited in strategy and development and also marketing. Now we are all here for MBA, and this is one of the reasons we were very excited to talk with you, because we are also from a similar domain. Campus Jamshedpur from XLRI. Ankita, I think that's it from my side. Over to you.
Hi ma'am, good evening. I'm Ankita Singh and I have 5 years of work experience in marketing insights. And sorry ma'am?
Yeah, go on.
Oh yeah, so I have 5 years of work experience in marketing insights, and previously I was working with JP Morgan Chase, and currently I am pursuing this XPGTM course from XLRI. I am currently based in Jamshedpur and I'm looking forward to going to college on this Monday. So yeah.
Oh, your college is finally opening, is it?
Yes, we're coming in slots.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you.
Are you guys going to go to the college for the first time this week, or you started already? This is your second round?
A batch has moved.
Yeah, we are already on campus. Swagato and Ankita are yet to arrive.
I think you'll miss the fun if you do it online.
Yes.
The people on campus are already telling us how awesome it is to be there.
I think that's one of the best parts of taking time to go back and study, right? You get to meet people. So I don't think I'm much older than you. So call me Revti, don't call me ma'am. Let me give a brief intro about myself. I'm sure you would have known some of it already. I did my MBA in marketing from IIT Madras. After that, I joined HP. I was with HP for around 7-8 years. Started with sales analytics, moved into marketing analytics. One of the key things that I'm proud of what we did in HP is I was there when HP was split into HP and HPE. So I had the opportunity to work in both B2B and B2C sector. And I was able to see how marketing and sales analytics are different in these two aspects, right? Then I moved to Mumbai, so I worked with APG. I was there with their marketing team, a brief stint, trying to build their marketing analytics. Then COVID happened, so I'm back in Bangalore now. I'm in PwC. I look into the marketing analytics practice. We are primarily right now, because of COVID again, looking into digital analytics, e-commerce analytics, and the likes. I'm also started working in supply chain analytics because again COVID happened. Everybody was looking into how to save money and how to, fix the broken systems. So that's anything else you guys want to know?
No, I think that's okay.
I saw the questions that Sarvesh has sent across, but I would like to understand what would you like to take away from this session? What are you? Some of you have worked in marketing insights, in B2B marketing, B2C marketing. Are you looking at analytics as a career, or you just want to understand if you are in marketing, how would you leverage analytics? So, what is the area that you want to focus on?
So, ma'am, actually, here all of us are considering different career prospects as well, and marketing analytics as a profession, because we know how data is important in every field nowadays. So, this is something which is very interesting to the batch as well. So, in Excel Forum, we want to discuss and know more about the role and how it is impacting industries, and we want to share it with the batch as well.
Okay, makes sense.
I'll just add to that.
Yeah.
Thing is, if I have to clearly define what we want to take away from this is, we need to have an understanding of marketing analytics, even if we don't have a career in it, because that plays a role in day-to-day business in today's world. So that is the first aspect. Second is, this is meant to be published on our channel so others can also gain knowledge from this. So this has a broader base than just history.
Okay, got it. But do you have analytics as one of your subjects right now, or
We have we have two subjects in analytics in course 1 and course 2.
okay?
So yeah, so it's not exactly analytics, but it's part of probability and other quantitative techniques.
Those basic substance. Okay.
Yeah, and in marketing, I think we are learning SPSS using that tool for analytics. So basic level, not very in depth.
And then we'll have some things on forecasting and other statistical analytical tools in the further courses, which would be our electives. So if we plan to take it up later.
Also, another thing to understand is for people coming from different domains, specifically what tools and what skill sets they need to have, so that if they choose to proceed in this domain or something parallel, they have the necessary skill set for this domain. I think you're on mute.
Sorry,
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
am I not audible?
Now
you
I
are
think
now.
you were on
You're
mute.
now.
Now you're on.
Now you are.
So, Ankita, I think we can formally start the session if it's okay, Ms. Revati.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I think the first question we all have in our mind is, how does a marketing analytics person's day-to-day work life look like? Like, what are the roles and responsibilities you carry out on a daily basis, and what is the scope of that working as a marketing analytics professional?
Okay. I'll answer this question as an analytics professional, because I don't think marketing analytics has a very different nature to it, except for the data set or the stakeholders we are talking to, right? When you're in an analytics role, you are either working as a third-party consultant, or you're working inside the company with the marketing team or with any other teams, supply chain management, anybody else, right? Either cases, you will have a stakeholder to work with. Most of the analytical projects start with the problem statement that comes from the stakeholder that might not be clearly defined as a classification problem or a statistics problem, right? It starts with for example, I'm spending so much in marketing, digital marketing. How would I know what is the ROI? Which are the areas where I should focus on in terms of improving my ROI? Whether I should be investing in digital marketing at all. So these would be high-level questions that the stakeholder would come with. And then we go back, talk to them, understand why are they facing this problem, what are the information that is available that would help us solve this problem. So that's one part of the job. The next part is, of course, sitting with your team and trying to solve it, framing the approach in terms of whether we should go into a data modeling practice, or we should just do a ETA, or we should look at what are the current data sets available is there. Right, in today's scenario, I don't think marketing analytics is an exercise where they work alone. Somebody gives you the data, you solve the problem and give back the answers. It is more tech oriented, basically because the digital marketing and the e-commerce marketing space is growing in leaps and bounds today, right? So you work with the tech team, you understand whether the data that comes in is correct. And sometimes you sit and solve the problem by yourself, or sometimes you look at the answers and see whether it makes sense to the business stakeholders. And of course, you go back and reiterate this back to the stakeholders, saying, this is our solution. These are the key things we think can help solve this problem. Then depending upon their feedback, the business input, you pick one of them. and then start working on it. So it's more of an iterative process. You work with the business stakeholder as well as your team. You also work with the data management experts, technical experts, depending on what kind of problem you're trying.
Okay, I think
Thank
that.
you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
thanks.
ahead.
So just taking this forward, I think since you talked about the present times and how important analytics is, so our next question is in these times, like due to COVID-19, there has been major impact across industries. So how has marketing analytics helped forecast the market needs in a better way, especially when there are so many uncertainties around? I mean, for your clients, how has analytics helped them?
So when COVID started, right, I think we are a year in it now. So marketing was one of the lowest focus areas. That time, supply chain management, fixing the broken linkages was one of the key problems. But as people started living in this, now we are living through COVID. I don't know how many years we're going to do that. Everybody has started adapting to COVID. You could see this in your particular scenario as well, at your homes with your friends. When we talk about consumers, there were key behavioral changes that came in, right? Earlier, e-commerce was used only for electronics. People used only Flipkart and Amazon when they want to buy electronics, basic things like that. You never have seen your father or somebody of his age using big basket or things like that. We have never seen tier 2, tier 3 cities spending so much in the e-commerce platform, right? So the consumer behavior has slowly started shifting during this 1 year, and we could see significant changes there, and we could see pockets that companies were not focusing on. For example, when you're talking about, like I said, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, e-commerce buying increased by threefold in India itself during this 1 year. So these are key things unless you sit and look into the data, you would not be able to identify these, right? Unless you identify these opportunities, you might not be able to cater to these audience, build specific products or build specific campaigns that would work for these audience. So that is one key change we were able to drive. Second, apart from the FMCG companies or the key e-commerce players, not many of them had a e-commerce website. They were not very focused on selling through marketplaces. But today, again, the scenario has changed. Even the brown goods are being sold in the marketplace. So these companies are now taking an interest to identifying opportunities there. Through analytics, we were able to help them understand who are their audiences, what are the key products that you should focus on, whether you should look at marketplace or your own website, all these GTM strategies. So those were some of the things that we helped them, primarily moving towards the e-commerce and the digital.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So, ma'am, I come from a non-tech background. I am an engineer in mining, as I had explained. So,
Yeah.
a marketer like me, if he's willing to move into your domain, what are the skill sets required, and is it even possible? Or what is the pathway for it? Because you also mentioned that's a very technological role, and somebody who has not worked in IT, how feasible is it for somebody like that?
Okay. So data science or data analytics has three main pillars. One of it is the core stats data scientist role. One of it is the data management, again a tech-driven role. But the third role that is there is the business analyst, business analytics person role. So this person would be the liaison between your data management team or a data scientist team and the stakeholders, right? Like I said, you always start with a generic or a business problem that you want to break down into an analytics problem. If you're somebody who are good with numbers, who understand that, and you are able to translate the business problem into an analytics problem, this business analytics could be the role that you can focus on. Now, what are the skill sets needed for that? You should know basics of what you can do with analytics and not. What I mean by this is, if somebody comes with a business problem, you should be able to say that if we want to solve this, we need ABC data sets, or this is the limit or scope of what we can do, right? You can't promise the moon and not deliver it. So you should understand what are the things that you can do with the particular data, or what are the things that you need to solve this problem, you should have some understanding of what are the kind of skill set that you need to build that data analytics team to help you solve that problem. And that means you would be the person who would be talking to your data management team or a data scientist team. So you should at least slightly understand their language and help them understand the problem that we are trying to solve. So this is one of the areas where somebody with marketing experience would be very, very, they would play a key role, right? We need people with that experience to help us understand what is happening in the field. For example, we go and say that this model will help you solve this problem, okay? You are not take a simple problem. You are doing a B2B marketing in 3 or 4 areas, and by looking at straightforward numbers and doing an ETA, we will be able to tell you these 3 channels worked and this one did not work. But if you're somebody who had been on the field, you would be able to say the 4th one did not work because it takes time, right? Probably it's in the awareness stage. It takes time to build that audience there, but the ROI will come later. Or these are the 4 things that we should focus on. So analytics will help you only to an extent where your business knowledge would be able to add more value. That would be one of the areas that you could focus on. And for that, if you're somebody who's looking to move into that space, you should also look at how in the industry marketing cases are getting solved, how analytics is being used in the industry to solve problems today. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
it does.
It does.
I think a question arises from what you just said. So you spoke about skill set, but what about tools? What are the kind of tools? Like I have worked with Nielsen Clear Decision in my past organization, and I have worked with Q software. But what are the other tools which we can leverage in data analytics?
The hygiene factor is you should know good amount of Excel, or you should be able to understand the disjoint data and make the story out of it. That way, whether you take a business analyst role, data management role, whatever, you should have this basic skill set. I don't think, like I said earlier, I don't think this is restricted to analytics. If you're somebody who are working in marketing today, you should be able to make that storyline, right? Connect all these dots and say where we are today and what we can do to it. Apart from that, if you're looking at hardcore data scientist role, learning Python, SQL, or SAS would be helpful. It doesn't matter which language you pick up, but you should be able to solve problem using that language. Today, I don't think companies are, unless you're going to finance companies, they're not restricting themselves to saying that you should know only R, you should know only Python. You're able to translate that skills and say that I have solved these problems in the past, or I will be able to solve ABC, that should be good enough. But if you're going into a pure data scientist role, I think learning SQL and one of these programming languages is essential. Data management is very technical. I don't think you would probably looking into those roles, but that's if somebody comes with that background, who has done work in data management. Looking at Microsoft Azure would be one of the key areas.
Okay. Ma'am, just adding to that, I think a question that I have is analytics. Marketing analytics is about solving a problem and giving the client suggestions. So with technical, do we also have a creative side to it? For example, are you also responsible as a marketing analytics professional to also design campaigns and drive it to the audience? Is that also under the job role purview?
Not generally, but if you're, like I said, in ABG, when I worked with the marketing team, right? So they were working on creating these campaigns, building these, both digital and otherwise. So there you get a chance to be a part of the team and you get a chance to solve problems, but you won't be writing ad copies or you won't be designing campaigns if that's what you're asking for. You would probably able to help based on the historical data saying this is the reason this might not have worked.
Okay. Swagato, I think you can ask the next question.
Okay, so I had a thought on this that since you shifted into marketing analytics, like if I move into marketing analytics from a typical marketer role, how easy or difficult is it to make that shift after MBA? Like, how taxing is it, or how difficult is the easy way? Difficult to pull it off in a day-to-day aspect.
When you say difficult, you're talking about starting.
Like the initial learning curve, yes. The initial learning curve of how much time would it take me, or something along those lines.
See, today there are a lot of open courses available, right? The MOOCs that is out there is huge. So what I would say is, if you're looking at marketing analytics, first try to understand why you're looking at marketing analytics. Of course, it's a growing field. Analytics itself is growing. Today, the market for this is very huge. But do you have a real interest for it? And then what I would suggest is pick one of two of these open courses. When I say open courses, say you are coming from marketing background, right? So there would be a customer analytics course, there would be a digital analytics, or there would be courses on market mix modeling. Pick one of two of these. Look at the case, the entire case. So you are not just picking up the Python or the SQL or the modeling skills. You are also trying to understand what is the problem that you're trying to solve and what would the journey look like. So what it will give you is, one, an understanding of whether you really like marketing analytics. Two, it will also help you have that experience, right? When you go back to interviews or go back to working, you would know that this is one of the use cases that we have solved in the past, and there will be typical use cases like this in your work. So you'll know what kind of work you do. You'll also be able to understand which areas you can focus on. If you're somebody who are able to understand this solution that we are talking about, when we say a customer analytics problem, we are talking about the segments, 4 or 5 segments, say for example, depending on the data set that you have, then you're able to make that story out of the segments. Now, these are my loyal customers, these are my new customers, and for these customers, because of these attributes, I think these are the things that we should focus on in terms of increasing revenue. So if you're able to identify which is the one that appeals to you and which is your strength, I think you should focus on that and play on with that during your interviews and other area when you're talking to the companies, even in your role. So if you're able to pick that solution and break it down, I think you should be looking at taking that role. Sorry, did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I was. That is something I did not understand the first part. That connecting with the journey. So that is something I was looking for. So thank you for that. Because we have all learned the tools for it. Okay, the different methodologies that are there, different algorithms that can be used. But to look at the entirety of the journey or the entire case, so that is something we need to focus on, and that is what I was trying to figure out. Because as I said, I come from a very different domain, and marketing is a very foreign domain to me as of now. So for that aspect, like how to prepare for interviews, or what should be my focus in the first initial few months when I step into such a role. So that is something I was looking for. So thank you for that. That did answer my question. So following up on what you said, again, I come from a B2B marketing and sales role, and I see that marketing analytics is heavily used in B2C or e-commerce in that segment. So how is the impact in B2B, or does it have any impact, marketing analytics in B2B segment as well, if I were to step into something like that?
If you ask me, yes. Like I said earlier, I had worked in HPE, right? When we started off HPE, when we started off HPE as a brand. So one of the key questions we had was, we were doing digital marketing for the first time. We had to compare digital marketing initiatives with, and in a typical B2B sector, most of your investments are in either channel marketing. You guys understand these terms? Channel marketing, field marketing. Yeah. So, and digital, everybody knew on paper is good, but nobody knew whether it will give you the revenue. And if it doesn't give you the revenue, the company is not going to focus on it for long term, right? So we helped build a model to understand how digital is helping in the entire customer's journey in B2B. And B2B marketing analytics would not be a simple case study like the customer segmentation model that we are talking about, or e-commerce model. One has to, if you are from B2B, you have to understand the customer journey in B2B, right? If you're talking about, for me, if I'm talking about servers, I'm talking about not just one person buying a server. Nobody's going to come sit in one day and take the decision. The decision will be taken by a group, and that journey would be 6 to 10 months. So what are the touch points at each points of the journey? How would a company market to these touch points? And when we look at analytics, how are we doing at each touch point, and what are the areas of improvement? So if you understand that from that point of view, I think marketing analytics. So what I'm saying is marketing analytics for B2B might not be the 3 or 4 menu card items that you have currently, which is e-commerce, customer segmentation, and all that. You have to understand the nature of the industry and then solve for it. But wherever you're doing marketing and wherever you're spending significant amount of money in marketing analytics would play for you, unless you don't have a data for it. First step would be to make sure you have the clean data, and then look at how you can leverage.
So simply put, B2B marketing analytics has more layers than it has more layers to it and like more variables to it than B2C.
Correct. Because, and because of the typical nature, the time taken to get the ROI from marketing analytics might also be different for a B2B compared to a B2C.
Yeah, very good. Yes. In that case, like if I'm a primary sorry. Okay. So if I let's say I'm preparing for an interview for a similar company in B2B, what would be some primary, like you have already told us about the cases that are there in marketing. So what, apart from that or beyond that, what would be certain preparatory material that you would recommend for similar company interviews or these preparations?
See, if you're looking at specific companies, then I would say look at it from the marketing point of view, right? What are the top 3 or 4 problems that they are trying to solve for? Are they trying to solve for increasing their reach? Are they trying to solve for increasing their revenue, right? So, and you would know about these things about the company before you go for an interview, right? You would know at what stage the company is. I'm sure you guys would have more knowledge and more data points on your fingertips than the people sitting on the other side. So pick one of these and see how would you solve it using the tools that you have learned, right? What are the data points you will look at? What are the if your company is looking into expanding could be by geography, expanding could be by product, expanding could be by customer segment, looking at either premium segment or looking at loyal segment. It could be any of these. If we are trying to solve for expanding, how would we go about for each of these using data analytics? So you need not, and you need not even have it for each company. If you could have a toolkit which has these 3 or 4 problem solving methodologies for you, I think that would be good enough. But if you're focused on taking a technical data scientist kind of role, then you should also focus on the technical aspect of learning Python and SQL, learning about what are the modeling techniques, what are the key questions that they will ask on that, what are the assumptions that would go into building a model, what would help and what would.
Yeah, I was primarily looking at the business side of it because I come from a B2B background, so I'm really comfortable with it. And as you know, Voltas is also into B2C, so I'm equally uncomfortable with B2C. So for that reason, my question for that as to how to approach a B2B. So
B2B marketing is, I think, underrated, but it's not that.
I agree on that.
But we would need more marketing analytics in that space. Yes, definitely.
And is the industry scenario changing? Like, are we moving towards B2B marketing on a more aggressive front, or are we still lagging behind?
No, it's it's underrated in the sense when we always talk about marketing, we talk about retail, FMCG big players, right? Because that appeals to us as consumers and we can understand that. If you need to understand the B2B sector, you need to understand the product, what goes into the life cycle of the customer's journey and things like that. I don't think it's talked about a lot, but it's still being focused on. I don't think we are talking about a scenario drastically changing. One thing that is changing in B2B currently is that, like I said earlier, not just in India, across the globe, digital marketing and zero touch, sales is happening. We have never talked about that in B2B scenario earlier. McKinsey has published a report saying in B2B sectors for larger than $100 kind of products, currently 45% of the people are just doing their entire sales journey online or in a digital mode without talking to a salesperson. So these were B2B was more of sales driven, right? So that scenario is changing again because of the pandemic. It's getting accelerated today. So focus would be more on marketing and marketing analytics there as well.
Ma'am, from a batch's perspective, one question. Since marketing analytics is kind of a technical role, so whenever you make a career choice, you also look about the career growth, right? So if you go for marketing analytics professional as a career, so what exactly do you have to stick to marketing even in senior roles, or you can also progress into, say, business strategy? What are your goals in terms of that, in terms of career as a marketing analytics going forward?
So, like I said, marketing analytics is one part of analytics, but as you grow, again, it might not be just for analytics, it's for every other role. You're required to have some amount of breadth, not just the depth. So, for me, like I said, during COVID, I started working in supply chain analytics, and I could see that that's one of the areas where we could make significant amount of improvement. Big wins with small effort in terms of cost savings and everything. So that's something that I'm looking into right now, right? But as you grow, you could either grow in analytics itself, and right now the advancements here is humongous. People are already looking at marketing AI, even in marketing. Otherwise, artificial in next 2-3, even now there are a lot of use cases in most of the companies which is talking about responsible AI, ethical AI, and all those things. So artificial intelligence would come into play. That could be one of the areas that you should go and go in. And if you're not somebody who's looking into the technical aspect of it, and if you have the chance to work hand in hand with the strategy, business strategy would also be the area for you to look into and grow there.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think a lot of bats had these questions, how it, in terms of it goes in the breadth. And I think this answer would provide a huge insight to everyone in making career decisions. Thank you, ma'am, for this answer. In fact, what would be the kind of companies you would focus on if you are planning to build a career from scratch in these? Because we don't know exactly which are the companies to focus on if you want to make a career.
Should we go big or go small?
Sorry?
Should we go big or go startups or big brands?
There is no one right answer to that question, right? It depends on what you want to do. But from a personal experience, I would say, I mean, this might be a very, very generic answer, nothing new for you guys, but I would say keep an open mind. Okay, understand what are the key skill sets that you have, and what is that area that you would want to grow in, and apply for those companies. If you miss the first two, and then, or if whatever is in your top list is not there, still go ahead. And even in the roles, I would say, but you guys have already had that experience, so you're coming from an executive, so you would have that experience of working in different roles, right? So you would know which are the ones that appeal to you, and you will also know from the JD, from the whatever the company is marketing, which is the truth, which is the fluff. So identify that and identify what appeals to you and apply for those companies. Today, I think the role the market is booming. So it's right now on the choice of people who are going into the companies to see where they want to be. But for the first 2-3 years, I think you should probably risk it. If you really look like, if you want to work in startups, you should probably take that risk, do that, and come back to a big companies if you want.
Because there's always
Ma'am?
that fear of having
Fear.
Sorry, Diksha. You take
No,
this.
it's totally fine. I
No,
think
that's
just
fine.
one.
So
Just one-
yeah, you need to do the due diligence. That I agree when you're looking at any company, but that's true for even the bigger companies, right? When you go into bigger companies, you need to do due diligence in terms of not probably the brand, but understanding the role. What they today, all the roles are being marketed as data scientists. You really have to know whether data scientist is data scientist role or data cleaning role, or whatever role that you are interested in.
Right. Ma'am, just one thing. I think when we're talking about understanding consumer behavior and it's changing at a rapid speed, like you just said, is very important for businesses in order to achieve their growth. So, marketing in itself becomes a very challenging role. So, what would be your suggestions to us who, especially women, we say that we have to manage both, juggle both the home and also the work life, and for a marketing professional, generally it's very hectic. I'm sure it's for marketing analytics professional, it might be even more. So what would be your suggestion for our batch who's just starting out probably into senior positions, how to manage these things?
I think this question is so outdated. You should stop asking women what are they doing to do, balance of women work. The scenario is changing today. It's not changing in the phase that all of us want it to be, but it is changing today. Again, one of the silver linings of COVID, right? Everybody is working from home, so everybody understands that home is not a alien body for a woman that she should forget when she works. True for men as well.
Yeah.
But the support systems at the home and at companies are also changing today. So it's not as difficult as it was a decade back. Okay, that makes me sound old, but yeah, it's not as difficult as it was a decade back. I think there is nothing about balancing, that's always about prioritizing. You need to understand at what point in time what you want to prioritize, and and have that communicated both at home and at work. Today, companies are no longer saying, or no longer, like I said, the support system is expanded in all the places, right? Everybody is seeing how difficult it is to balance. So if we have the understand what our priorities are and make that get it, communicated to whoever the stakeholders are, whether at home or at work. There are times where it is very, very difficult because you have a client call, then you have a son's PTA meeting, you need to understand which one to pick up. But people are willing to make the choice. You can now go back and tell if client meeting is not important, you can tell them if it's a regular meeting, sir, I have a PTA meeting next day. People are willing to do that now.
Because I think there have been speakers who have come to us and said that you want to go for consulting, but it's going to be very difficult for you to find time for yourself. So I think this is one of the questions that we wanted to ask.
Yeah, consulting specifically, yes, it would be slightly difficult because the context you're working in, right? The kind of stakeholders that you're working in is much wider, where very different from when you're working for a company, for one specific company. And there is also a hustle culture that is coming in there. People want to do more now today. And but if you are good at prioritizing, and if you know that this is where I want to be, I'm okay if I don't fast track in 1 year, I'm okay if I have a life and do it in 1.5 years, then I think you can do that. There are a lot of companies that give you opportunities to do that. Only when you go start that race, okay, I want to do this in that time, in the shortest time, in the shortest possible time, then you're prioritizing that. So then it becomes difficult and you have to pay for it.
Okay.
That was really insightful for me.
Sorry?
A I said that was really insightful. A lot of our doubts
Yes.
were cleared, at least because we understand, or at least we understood marketing analysis as a very technical way, where there was very little business involved, mostly a back-end kind of a role. But from what our discussion entailed, that it's more front-end that we understand, and might have aspects of strategy, aspects of other analytics and business roles, business elements as well.
And it's important to understand that if you're going into marketing, because even if you're not working in analytics, if you're on the other side, you would be able to understand how you can leverage analytics to your benefit.
Absolutely.
I think the roles now have intertwined a lot in this kind of era. So I think understanding all aspects of marketing is important for us. So this was very insightful in that aspect.
So I think we can end the session now. Thank you so much, ma'am. I think my batchmates have already said that it was a very insightful session. So thanks a lot. I'm sure the batch would also find it very useful. And we have a better clarity about marketing analytics as a profession. So it was great to host you here.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. It's always fun to talk to people in marketing.
Yes.